So Brodie Smith has been talking a lot recently about a specific disc, partially because obviously he has his own run coming out. I don't have access to it. And right now it seems like it's his favorite fairway, but it's actually Paige Pierce's disc. It's the Passion. And I've actually never thrown a Discraft Passion. 8.5 -1.1, so kind of interesting numbers and nothing that like I can actually compare it to out of my bag. I would think maybe in Essence from Discmania, 8.5 -2.1, but luckily, speaking of Discmania, they actually sent me out one of their pre-released signature molds. Swirly S-Line Colt Montgomery, Zeta's Moon, CD1. That's a long way to say that, but we're gonna compare the Passion to this, as well as to just a normal C-Line CD1. Big shout out to Mitch, one of my patrons, for sending this out. You're behind my head, dude. What are you doing? Here, a little more that way, a little more that way. Okay, there you go. All right, we're gonna play 8 holes here at Village Green. First one is 381 feet straight down there. It's kind of a forehand, kind of a right to left. And I'm a little worried because, so this S-Line one's pretty flippy. We're only gonna play 8 holes today instead of the typical 9 in reviews, because I was going through the course and there's really only 8 good holes to review these on. Otherwise, we'd have to throw them on like a 240-foot hole. We'll start with the C-Line CD1, which I think will be the easiest one to throw because I think it'll be the most stable. Wow, that barely made the bando. Didn't flip as much as I thought. So Zeta's Moon, S-Line CD1 next. Yeah, okay, that wind is keeping it beat down on that hyzer. 381 with these is a little bit of a pump for me on a forehand. And then Passion here, I'm really interested. It feels really good on a forehand. Backhand, I don't know if I can say the same, but. Get over it. Oh, I think that's the best one out of them all, unless I hit something. I was thinking about bringing out my strike, which right now is like a kind of flippy 7-speed for me. But for some reason, my brain links 8 speeds with 9 speeds and 6 speeds with 7 speeds. I don't know why that's the case. But the Passion does feel smaller than those 9-speed CD1s, but I think they all do kind of generally the same thing that you'd want in your bag. All right, C-Line 1 really doesn't have a look. S-Line 1 is the best look. Passion did get caught up in a bush, unfortunately. If it was able to get a skip, I think it'd be the best one out of all of them. Alrighty, putt time. What? That was a hoop and a prayer. It's always a Passion, baby. Got another circle 2 look from the Zeta's Moon. Now I feel like we gotta make it. Brutal. It's always a Passion, what am I thinking? So that flight that I'm talking about is kind of that dead straight pushing flight, close to distance driver distances, but very straight, has some torque resistance, and doesn't move a lot right to left. For me, I really like the CD1 because it's been a disc that like I feel like I can throw on some 400-ish foot holes, not have it deviate too much off of a left to right line. The C-Line one is significantly more stable than the S-Line, at least I found straight out of the box, but they both push and finish relatively straight. This one has a lot more finish. The Passion didn't really get a great read off that forehand there. It did go a little shorter than the S-Line CD1, and it did get a little flip, but not as much as I expected. So I feel like it's gonna be slightly shorter than both of these, and also a little bit in between the stabilities of them. All right, this hole will be pretty interesting to look at kind of how these guys do, because the wind is basically blowing straight at me. So you're gonna have to be a little touchy with these, a little more spin, a little less focus on speed. It is 350 feet, but it is downhill, so it probably plays closer to like 320-ish. The Passion has the box, so we get to see how it does in a headwind. Oh, it's not really flipping past flat. Just kind of stays flat. I thought it'd flip, get a little ride. Not the best throw in the world. Here's the CD1. Yeah, it kind of, the one thing I've noticed about the the one thing I've noticed a lot about the CD1s is they like get to that flat and then they kind of push on it to the right. They don't really turn, like you don't see the disc turn, but it like has that effect. It's kind of a weird little thing that they do. Now the Zeta's Moon is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna put it a little hyzer and a little more left. Oh, there's a little nose up. So it didn't really get the full turn. Okay, I'm kind of surprised. Let me show you the difference between these CD1 and the Passion. I'm gonna mark them real fast. I thought that they would have a lot more difference in where they landed, but this thing did get a decent bit of turn. I just put some questions over on Instagram and asked like, hey, what do you want to know about the Passion? And a lot of the questions are actually about how it feels in the hand. So apparently other people have also heard that like, for me on the backhand, it's kind of interesting. There's like this bluntness right here that reminds you of kind of like a T-Bird-esque disc, where it's not super bladed like the CD1. So the CD1 really wants to kind of fly. This one hasn't really seemed to want to fly as much, which makes it better for a little bit bigger arms. And that probably is what slows it down. The rim width definitely feels smaller than the CD1, which I actually find relatively comfortable. But I think that bluntness attached to the fact that people are calling this on the bottom a bead. I don't really think it's a bead down here. but it does sit a little deeper in the hand. It's a pretty deep disc. And so for me on a backhand, it's not quite as comfortable. It makes me, I have to be very intentional about front loading it, and even then it feels a little pinched up here, meaning that it's a lot harder for me to get this thing nose down sometimes because my form is not the best. With this, I feel really, it lends itself to my hands, which are very small, to front load it, so I can feel like I can get it a little more nose down easier. Either way, I'm interested to see how the passion continues to feel, because on a forehand, I really like it, surprisingly. Big putt. From the tailwind. I don't know what's happening right now. Ah, there it is, there it is. Okay, at least we can make that. And good thing we can talk about the forehand here, because this is a forehand hole with one of these discs all day long. You guys might have seen the reel from the last time I played here with my Discraft Mystery Box Challenge, where they sent me a 5-claw Undertaker, ended up hitting the cage on the first throw. But that's a very similar disc to the CD1. The Undertaker, CD1, Escape, Saint, Savant from Innova, Tesla from MVP. It's that very straight 9-speed. But I know runs are a lot, and this is the ESP. And in a forehand, surprisingly, this, because it's a little deeper, feels phenomenal. I feel like I can really stick my middle finger in there and just flick just flick it very well. S-Line CD1 stole the box. We have a Mando left, but it's just a 300-foot little hyzer. Oh, I thought that would flip more. I think I'm swooping my forehands a little bit more. I'm kind of following up a little more instead of really focusing on hitting and falling through. Much better. Significantly better. It's kind of an interesting disc. Oh, that came out a little early. That's just a swing problem, sorry. I did expect him to flip more. Getting out here, there is a little bit more of a left to right wind than I anticipated. I'm a little surprised by the stability of the passion. Wow, dude. I'm surprised because of the numbers more so than I am because of the wing shape. Like, the wing doesn't look like an understable disc. 8.5 -1.1 are like kind of interesting numbers too, though. I just have someone on my tail, so we're moving. But the C-Line CD1 surprisingly is taking the lead. I guess not so surprising when you think about it's in the wind, because it's slightly faster and slightly more stable, so it can handle the wind a little bit better. We do have a tailwind with a little left to right as you get out there. So honestly, this is potentially gettable. They called par 4 here. We're still playing it as a 3. It's 445. We can put some big moves on these. I think the S-Line CD1 will have the best chance, but we can try with all of them. Hopefully just get a great little ripped high nose down anhyzer. Gets dropped a little by the wind and stabled out a lot. Holy cow. Big skip though. That's fine. That's down there. Oh, Zeta's Moon is next. Little S-Line boy. A little more hyzer. Really focus on the hit point instead of the shot. Oh wow, that is. We got a big tailwind. That thing is supposed to flip and turn. It's always a passion. This one's the closest. It's always a passion, you know? I think we'll have to get some more height, more anhyzer. There's a lot of wind out here today. Much better. Ooh, that's pretty good. And that's down there. That might be a putt, actually. One thing I do notice is since it's an 8 versus a 9-speed, the line that it holds, since it is, I do believe, truer like an 8-speed, doesn't move as much left to right. I think you could probably tell it there, but it's definitely the case. We got putts from all of them, I guess, technically. Great lap, great lap. Oh man, nothing's coming out. I'm great at laying up from 65 feet right now. Let's see if the passion can snag one back. Yeah. What kind of make was that? Wow, that is such a good birdie from that. Holy cow. I mean, if you guys remember in my Discraft Mystery Box video, I didn't have like as much wind, but I also had like a favorable wind. And I think I was like barely getting the forces and nukes and stuff there. I don't think it's passion. I think I am actually throwing a little farther now. Also very wind assisted. We had a couple other big bomber holes out here. Was not expecting to get any of them, or at least like close to a lot of them. This raises my expectations a little bit. I will tell you this now before we even finish this. The passion so far does not seem like a disc that I would personally throw. Definitely more of an in-between, which I think makes sense because there's a couple of different ways that people curate their bags. For me, I tend to be a 3, 5, 7, 9, 12 player, which means I have 3 speeds, 5 speeds, 7 speeds, 9 speeds, and 12 speeds. I don't think I have any discs that are not those speeds. Brodie, on the other hand, if you watch a lot of his In the Bags, I don't know about Ezra, I think he's also relatively similar. I think he throws the Onyx maybe, but Discraft seems to be much more of an 8 and 12 speed kind of thing, and 8 and 10 speed kind of thing, as well as like a 13 with a nuke. And so Brodie's bag, I think if I remember, is like Buzz and Nebula at 5 speeds, and then I don't know if he has anything at 6 or 7. I don't think he carries an Athena, and then he has the Passion, and then the Vulture. So 8 to 10. There is still that difference there. Whereas for me, I'm throwing 7 and 9 speeds, so I don't really need this in between. So it just depends on how you want to create your bag. Do you want to create it like a total chump, or do you want to create it like a pro? Obvious answer, be a chump. 312 feet down there, we got a wind that is a headwind right to left. So I think because of that, we're gonna throw these on forehands again. Kind of see how they rip. Passion is taking the box. We are gonna put them on some hyzer though, kind of at the basket, see if they'll flip up and drift and have any finish. That has some great integrity. Wow, I am impressed with that. A little deep, C-line CD1. Threw that a little more left, unfortunately. Very similar flight actually, just a little wider, as you can see there. A little bit more left and a little bit more right. Now the Zeta's moving. This is gonna be tough. I'm gonna throw this a little more right. Yep. Whoa! Oh, that disc is gone. And so much flippier. So, very different frisbees. See that one right here? A little farther than the Passion and a little more left to right movement. Kind of like you'd expect. No. Can't be missing those. And we're going again into a nice long 420-ish foot hole, but not a good wind. Yep, head right to left. So if you throw it into that, it's gonna flip a lot more. Ooh, and to get the full distance, you need to either throw a flat or a flexing shot. I think if we throw these hard enough flat, we gotta throw them almost flat and right, expecting that to turn a slight amount and get back to the left. Passion again. Oh, weird little reaction. It was gonna be a little short. I expected it to get a little skip to the basket, but I think that the distance that lacks will get made up for by these. And we might actually be able to get there. It's kind of hard to get there all hyzer, but the wind should help a bit as long as you keep the nose down. There, that's better. Don't get a weird reaction. Yeah, straight skip. I think that's inside the circle. Maybe a little short. Now the S line, a lot more hyzer. A lot more right. Oh, it's still flipped. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, that is a different breed. I thought the Passion was honestly gonna be more like that. I almost didn't bring out my C-line CD1. I'm so glad I did because holy crap, is it so different. The one thing that is good about this disc though is that it does have that late stability. Like it doesn't just turn and burn. That was kind of dumb. That's one of those putts that you don't even think about and you just kind of throw. And you're like, what am I doing with my life? Drop in. Oh man, this is from the S-line one. Straight headwind now. Falling. Somehow. Okay, good to know I'm not massive. I still need some flex on a 9-speed to get down here. Ah! All right, 300 feet just ahead of us. We only have 2 holes left. We have to make them count. We got a headwind, big right to left still. Like literally 45 minutes before I started filming this video, weather was perfect. And then I brought out the camera and said, screw you, little boy. We're gonna throw these all kind of touchy shots on the backhand, a little short for these discs. I think that might be good. Ooh. C-line guy, then S-line guy. S-line's gonna be so tough. Thing is definitely not a wind fighter. Oh, it's too much hyzer out of the hand. I knew it immediately. Oh, it's gone. Can't do that in this wind, you silly goose. Okay, you can't do that either. Maybe it's always a Passion. Maybe it's always a Passion. All right, even with my poor putting, I think I still have this one from the Passion. So we're gonna have to make it from the C-line to keep pace. If I close my eyes, that means you can't see it either. Alrighty, last hole, these guys. It's another bomber. It's like 430 all the way down there. This time though, we're going back towards the headwind. Slightly downhill, so it's definitely gettable, but it might be one that we want to throw on a high turnover. Passion still has box. If that gets out of it, it's got a chance. Ah, it's too slow. Oh, no, it's not. That was really good. Not that close, but pretty good. Sea lions anyone. It's a lot more right movement. Oh, gosh. I did turn that over a little bit more, but I think because of the blunt edge, it might not be that it like starts out more stable, but it definitely ends more stable. Like the CD1 will hold turn a lot longer, which is what I'm personally looking for. That's honestly closer to my strikes, which I wasn't expecting. I expected it to be more like my CD1s, which is why I didn't bring out a strike, but I'm also glad I didn't because now I didn't throw my arm out. Not great. Not bad though. Good shape. Oh, really not bad. I thought that's closer than I thought it was. I do think one thing that is nice about this video is it's really helping me see that a lot of these holes are like hard 9 speeds for me instead of distance drivers. Almost pin out with the CD1, almost all on turn. Passion's inside the circle. All right, see if we can get another birdie with this S-line one. Yeah, just outside the circle short, and I thought I threw it way too nose up. Why can't I putt? It might always be passion, guys. So this is absolutely gonna make me throw my 7 speeds and my 9 speeds more, because this ESP Passion, I literally just bought it new off the rack. As Paige Pierce would say, you know, she just always comes back to the stock runs, you know, something about the stock plastic is just so good. But I was very surprised by this. It might have just been that this is the better wind fighter, because it is a little blunter for sure than both of these, so it hooks up a little faster. But the distance that I got on this, I mean, this is not the best wind for this hole. A little headwind. It is downhill, but 430 feet, pin high birdie, 443 foot hole birdie. I could see why this is in the big power players' bags, because I imagine for them it flies more similarly to the CD1s for me, which I really like to carve up some woods, or just get that really long panning shot. S-line CD1, significantly different, surprisingly. Discraft, if you're ever watching this, if you want to send out, and it's always a passion at some point when those come out, I would definitely be appreciative because that disc is sick. I don't know if this would fit in my bag right now, but if I did ever want to switch over to like a 10 speed, 8 speed, this is one of the first ones that I'd pick up, surprisingly, because even though it's not super comfortable in the hand, the depth of it actually surprisingly makes it more bearable than you'd think. And so I didn't hate it. Appreciate you guys watching. If you want to subscribe for a bunch of really cool videos I've coming out at the end of this week and early next week, do that. If you don't want to, see you later. Thanks for watching. Drop a like on your way out. And if you want to stick around a little bit more and check out some more reviews, check them out right over there. That's where I reviewed the CD1 versus the Dynasty to decide which one actually went in my bag. No spoilers, but you can check that out over there. Oh, that was also at the iconic Blue Ribbon Pines Disc Golf Course. Appreciate you guys a ton. Peace.